Thank you, Father, for coming back once again in this last station to come and teach, come and sanctify thy children and also to establish thy kingdom on earth. Select.
Yeah, John. Apa umpamanya juga dua biji oleh sesuatu. Kalau kau kira-kira tiba, ayo mau orang beri cek, anak kampoi wajib. Jadi dia orang aku, kerja ada moni. Amen. Apa pun yang nyawa, ni pada isyaru kau banyak kita. Jadi dua banyak kita. Apa nanya ni nam April di Tomi, kira dua. Amen. Terima kasih. Amen.
Udah nampak poinnya. Because you get the Matthew Gospel, you will say that it's about time for a secret to just meet you. Eddie King, you said it. Open the pork, you will you. Edward Jimmy. Ever actually the city would again. Yet, Marvin, ever when you walk, Edda Nekaya, Edda Nekaya, no pilot, and the car. They can kill each other in the car, and you know. Open the table and you went, and yet one popular. Onye mmadụ mbakọrọ baịdị yoro afia asọ ikpọ ọkụ yomi owo. Ete mmana ndio mkpọ kemi nke yande iyibe ni midu iso nọ. Ede mmụọ ikenye yiri saa ntodo ike ofejero. Ndiye nya oto mbakọrọ ba olo olo kete mpa. Ada anyo ma ke yira pa eme mpenyo wa wo.
Jadi harus pempanjut sehingga God di sana di Malaysia mereka para sepeda terus mesra. Bukan gambar muka macam mana kemerde. Ada empat jenis manusia kemerde. Ada yang super keren. Kita orang ini semua muka. Ini empatnya. Ni wara isuka mantini ali wara su ku pekwena mtakbali kwa ite amindi ene nimente wara amen.
Our first Bible reading was taken from the Gospel according to St. Luke chapter 17 from verse 1 to 2. Jesus said to his disciples, "Things that cause people to think are bound to come, but woe to that person through whom they come. It will be better for him to be thrown into the sea with a millstone tied around his neck than for him to cause one of these little ones to sin." Speaking enough for us. Amen.
Our second Bible lesson is drawn from St. Matthew Gospel, chapter 27, verses 1 through 5. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Jesus to put him to death. And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, I have sinned in that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they say, What is that to us? See thou that to that. And he cut down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed, and went and hung himself in the name of Lord Jesus Christ.
Our closing text this morning is extracted from the Gospel according to St. John, chapter 13, verses 18 through 19. I speak not of you all, I know whom I have chosen. But that the scripture might be fulfilled, he that eateth bread with me hath lifted up his heel against me. Now I tell you before it comes, that when it was come to pass, he may believe that I am he. The Lord of Lord Jesus Christ.
Brethren, I am not giving you this gospel as something you have no knowledge of, but I give it to you with the understanding of your full consciousness of it, that whatever has written has to come to fulfillment. And the scripture might be fulfilled by this message. But the truth is that the lesson to be drawn from these three texts are enough to carry you through life, even for the next 100 or 1 million years. Like the organist had already said some time ago, that the lesson which tends to baffle him so much is the one that says that whatever a man sows, that he certainly shall reap. Implying that if you do good to somebody, that good certainly belongs to you, because it has to come back to you. If you do bad, if you do evil to another person, that evil certainly has to come and reside with you. Can you not see the analogy of this lesson in the three texts which have been read to you? And this has come to us so transparently that the handiwork of any man follows after the person who commits it. It also teaches us to do that which is good in order for us to be rewarded. Because if you look through these lessons that you have been receiving, you will see that there is nothing profitable in committing evil. At any point in time, there is no evildoer that stands to benefit from whatever evil that he commits. Because whatsoever you do at any time, the reward will still have to follow significantly from the relative standpoint of what you have committed. And who is the person that is to go empty-handed? It is Satan. It also shows that whatever is non-existent spiritually is physically also non-existent. But whatever thing that you see that happens here in the effectual world, it is what has already been written. That is the reason it becomes imperative that we have to be very conscious of whatever we do. For the scripture so nominates that God knows those who reverence him and help us unto them But to them that rebelled him not are the ones that killed the Jews. What has happened to us this week does not happen to God unaware, but it is only to you, man, who it comes unaware. Because all this brings into memory the spoken words of our Lord Jesus Christ when he said, "What shall I compare this sinful generation unto? Because this generation look for a sign, but certainly no other sign shall be given to this generation other than the sign of Jonah. For as Jonah remained in the fish of the belly for 3 days and 3 nights, so also shall the Son of Man stay under the heart of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights." Can you not see the manifestation of this spoken words of our Lord Jesus Christ?
Now, the thing is about my president.
And now, what is the lesson that you are expected to draw from this event and from this manifestation? Can you not see that it is incumbent upon you to believe whatever proceeds out of the mouth of the Lord Jesus Christ, whatever proceeds out of the mouth of God, whether it is soonest to come to manifestation or whether it's going to take time before it comes to manifestation, you have to believe it because he is true and his words are true. And he's already made us to understand from the scriptural nomination that heavens and earth shall pass away, but not even an iota of his word shall fail to come to manifestation. If you were of the carnal opinion or otherwise that there is any iota of the statement of our Lord Jesus Christ or the word of God that is nominated in the scripture which shall fail to come to manifest, I want you to dislodge such conception from your mind, from beginning from Genesis and on to Revelation. Whatsoever has been written of God has to come to manifest. Can you not see that it didn't occur to him unconsciously? And that is why it is said from the scripture of our first lady that he said unto the disciples, it is impossible that
offenses will come, but woe unto him through whom they come. It were better that for him that a man should be hung about his neck and he cast into the sea, than for him to offend one of these little ones. Yet this is an important lesson for you to ponder on and to realize that there is nothing that stands to be gained from committing evil. Nothing could be rewarded at all for somebody who commits evil other than the significance of the evil such a person has committed. And that is the reason, no matter what an individual does, the effect still has to be resided in the same total of what he has done. That is why a popular aphorism has already made us to understand that fight does not end in your carrying the other or your opponent down on the ground. After carrying your opponent down on the ground, you may want to find yourself that that is over. I want to tell you that that is not the end of the fight. What about what has to be reversible to what we have already committed? Yes, no matter what an individual does, go heavens and come down, there is nothing that somebody who commits evil will gain profitably from committing evil whatsoever, no matter the distance. So after being able to understand this, you will see that there is nothing that somebody who commits murder, who commits fornication, who steals, somebody who bears malice against another person, somebody who joins gangs to plan evil against another person has to gain from committing such acts. And if you have to bring this into memory, then you will find that it is too shameful and inanimate for anybody to plot evil.
And yet they will go with it. The food better.
And the Father said to us abundantly clear from scriptural nomination that there is nothing an individual stands to gain for any act that such a person commits. And at any point in time, your derivation from what the individual commits is totally open, because he is not unaware of whatever happened. All that has happened were written, and he is very conscious of whatever happened at any point in time. And that is why nothing ever gets to him unaware.
No, one day, situation even became of they were there by me. Yeah, catch them. No, one house. Even look at it, you know, it's swagger.
I am telling you that up to December, I will continue to unveil one after another all that were written after him, and to make you to understand that nothing written after him shall fail to come to manifest. Not only unto December, even unto next year and unto eternity, I shall continue to unveil all that has been written after him, and to make you understand that nothing ever that were written of him shall fail to come to manifest.
Let me take you look at that. And I can point but I'm fine. You need guys
Listen attentively and recall our first lesson, which said, then he said unto the disciples, it is impossible that offenses will come, but woe unto him through whom they come. It were better for him that a man's stone were hanged about his neck, and he cast into the sea, than that he should offend one of these little ones. Yes, take note of that, and view it seriously. that go unto him through whom offenses have to come to anybody.
Yeah, all right. And you can form a big record.
And also recall yourself that if these things did not happen, how would the glory of God have been made manifest? This thing happens in order for the glory of God to be made manifest. And also to make you understand, when you say, God revealed yourself to me, God revealed yourself to me, God used me to reveal your glory, then you have to know that in order for that to take place, something has to happen. Now ask yourself the question, if our Lord Jesus Christ and his disciples were to go through all their ministerial assignments of era and nothing happened, especially like it has been written, what do you think that would have been the relative situation? And how do you think that the glory of God would have been made manifest? Don't you realize that at the time the disciples would have said that is how he used to make his statement and nothing happened? And then what do you think that would have been the significance of such authority? Because it was written that the shepherd shall certainly be smitten in order for the sheep to scatter. Then if it were not smitten, how would the shepherd have scattered and what would have happened? Would he not have been same as a liar from the statement that he made? How? Can you not see that this thing happens in order that what he says may come to manifest? Because immediately it happens, Judas Iscariot himself remembered what he said, and then he explained that he has betrayed an innocent blood. Yes, that he has betrayed an innocent blood, because whatever he did pertains to somebody who committed no evil. He betrayed an innocent blood, and you will see that all events amounted to the fact that our Lord Jesus Christ was totally pure. He did not commit any evil. He was not worthy of that crucifixion that happened to him, the condemnation, the betrayal that Judas Iscariot did. And that is the reason he himself confessed openly that he had betrayed an innocent blood. And as a result of that, he took the pieces of paper to the chief priest and the elders and surrendered it totally to them, confessing that he had betrayed an innocent blood. But the people shoot him by the gun? Or did anybody hang him? Did anybody set fire on him? Nobody did it. But it is to fulfill what has already been written, which our Lord Jesus Christ said, that woe unto him through whom this thing comes. Secondly, it has to happen for you to understand clearly that there is nothing an individual does. Whatever type of thing that you do, definitely you have to reward it. You have to reap the reward. And that is why it is openly enunciated that whatsoever a man sows, that he shall certainly reap. And whatever a man does follows after him.
Utereye bakbanko. Eke ni wa na ta de jai. Abadi yo ki yo ko. Ate yo spotless God. Ebe ni je ye no ke ni ko ni ni yo. Ele se ke yo spot de kana wa na ri ko ku. Ya ra ki. Ni ke ko apa bai de. Ta ni no to ana. Very bai. And that is that of God. Nine. The Bible they were the Bible and they who saw the million. But yeah, ya banded it, send it, got it. That's what fight. And my name is all. Who will run in the water?
The culture. The vulture looks for a dead meat, a dead animal, before it can take for a meat. Whereas the lion will not eat anything that is dead. Anything that the lion has to eat has to be live in order for it to tear and eat. The same thing also happens. You will be able to understand that God did not look for any sinful person, anybody who has committed evil, but rather he looked for a spotless blood, an innocent blood. And if our Lord Jesus Christ were to commit any evil, he would not have been worthy of the wondrous assignment. That is the reason he exonerated himself from all aspects of iniquity in order for him to be worthy of the wondrous assignment. And that was the reason he became the only one amongst all the creations to be worthy to save mankind. And that is the only one that was capable of saving us. So that you will be able to understand that anybody who commits evil, even if you have 100 million of evil practitioners, they are nothing. They cannot mean anything because they cannot offer any salvation to any mankind except an innocent blood, such as our Lord Jesus Christ, that is capable of salvation the whole human race. To recall you back to the aphorism I have already given to you people, that the vulture looks for a dead animal before it can take for a meat, whereas the lion looks for a live animal, an animal that is not yet died, so that you'll be able to reconcile the two and to understand what happened.
So, probably for Jesse and Ghana for some years. Yes, of who is God. Upon a higher, and then you have there. I mean, Jin apa jin 3 months.
I am
John Janko, and then my pilot kilometer. I said, go, are you always that? You know, young enough for Now, they got shut up. Usuba again, Bob. Me money come a gala me young boy. A man was the most tolerable. I can't hear it. The insane violence. Then they do that. And he forgets it. It's correct. Yes.
I want to bring to you 4 significant witnesses to make you understand that our Lord Jesus Christ was the one worthy of carrying out the assignment of bringing salvation to the whole human race. And so whatever happens in order to fulfill what has already been written. It did not happen because he was sinful, he was guilty. It did not happen because he was a sinner. But it happened in order that what was written has to come to manifest, in order for salvation to come to mankind. The first among these witnesses that I want to bring to you is Pilate's wife. Remember the dream that Pilate's wife had, and said to the husband that I had a series of torture in the dream this night concerning this just and innocent person. See that you have nothing evil at all to do concerning this person, because I have been so tortured today in my dream. That was a first and significant witness, testifying to the innocency of our Lord Jesus Christ, as far as the betrayal, the condemnation, and the crucifixion of his is concerned. The second is Pilate himself. Pilate testified before the Jews described, saying, I find no evil in this person. And that was an open testimony to show that he was innocent. The third of it were the 2 thieves on the cross. The other one said to our Lord Jesus Christ, you say that you are the Son of God. Why not help yourself and help us also? But the other thieves hallowed unto him, saying, shut up. Don't you know that we are worthy of the offense, of the punishment that we are receiving, because we have committed acts that enable us, that prompt us to receive this punishment. But this is an innocent person who has not committed any evil at all, and he ought not to be placed on this level of punishment whatsoever. That was another significant and third witness to make us understand the relative position of the innocence of our Lord Jesus Christ, as far as that crucifixion is concerned. And the other one has to do with the testimony of Judas Iscariot himself, who openly testified that he has betrayed an innocent blood. Can you not see that these things put together goes a long way to bring into memory that he was not guilty in any way, but whatever happened in order for the scripture to be fulfilled. Even if 100 people feeling all over the world were to die, since they are sinners, they would not have been able to wrought any salvation unto mankind. And that is the reason the death you continue to find every day in the world today happen as a result of their relative sinfulness. But our Lord Jesus Christ was totally pure, innocent, and spotless. And that is the reason he stands out to be the only one worthy of the assignment of reminiscence for the sins of mankind.
There is of the golden text.
And listen attentively to what is nominated. When he said children. For he that eateth my food has raised up his shield against me. I say this thing to you now, that when it comes to pass, ye may know that I am he. Can you not understand that that is a very clear, open, and transparent revelation of what was written after him?
Right from Genesis 49. Again, Christ to the world. Những cái mà cả lại còn mà lại người chết anh có biết như cái có cái gì có là có ra đấy có những cái bút mình đang dùng băng cũng có là ý cái luôn lấy ra cũng có bạn nào đấy rồi cũng có bữa nay nói chứ ada nói kêu chúng ta cả những cái gì này là Ida bawa nanti bawa kerja je. Ayah yang ni macam, itu sini ada orang mana mana su. Lupa je lah kau tu. Lupa kita. Jangan mau. Kamu tu jual ni. Bukan orang jual orang dia bukan macam ini kan dia. Aku bukan nanti nafsu. Ada kami sini dia hanya pada.
So you will understand that all that happened were written after him, and they happened in order for the glory of God to be made manifest. You see that our Lord Jesus Christ suffered the betrayal, and not from any other person, but from Judas Iscariot. And clearly from what has been stated in the scripture, he said it already. In order that by the time it happens, none of the disciples or no other person will get it on the surface. But we have to understand that it has already been written, and it has to come through that measure. You see what is written in Genesis chapter 49. If you read, you will know that the beginning of Christ, the generation, the genealogy of our Lord Jesus Christ comes from the tribe of Judah. And if you read from that Genesis chapter 49, what is written after Judah, you will understand exactly that these things were already written far back before his physical manifestation. And so by the time he chose Judas Iscariot to the position that he remained among the disciples, he never made any mistake at all. But rather, he chose him in order for what was written to come to manifest. By the time anybody would have complained, this is the of the same time, and he knew very well. And this same Judas Iscariot also comes from the same tribe, from the same stock of our Lord Jesus Christ, so that you will be able to know that no other person among the disciples and among other persons that were meant to have carried out that assignment, apart from Judas Iscariot that came also from his own tribe, in order to fulfill what has already been written. Because if it didn't happen that way, it means that they would not have been the one. But since it was written after him, it has to happen in order for everybody to understand that the word of God is true and God himself is true. So that from what is happening in the process of life, maybe somebody stayed in overseas country and they said that a ghost came get to the place that they stayed in overseas country and then slapped him down and he fell and died. for you to know that it doesn't come from anywhere. If that happens to anybody, it does not come from anywhere, but it comes directly from his own family, from where he comes from. Nothing happens to anybody that does not come from exactly where you come from. It must be from somebody between the own feet that caused that thing to happen. And that is why Popular Adage says that it is the mouth of the house that invites the outside man to come and dine with it. So that anything that happens to anybody, it can never come from anywhere. It must come from somebody who is very much between the own feet. Yes, and that is the reason it is written. What said about our Lord Jesus Christ, because if it weren't so, it means that he would not have been the one. But it happens quite well because it has already been written and it has to come to manifest.
Even Father Jacob, I mean the Jew. You call me where I feel it. The Jew. You call me where I feel so bad. Anything Jew. You call me the wood. You know? I mean the Jew. You know what they get? Man coming not to be down and not to see it. We are. Let my word oh, yes, I mean, them will go with it. I knew me every year, not the best. Who propose you? I come. You don't do it, and what can I do? I don't look at what they did, and I got I can put in the bad one. And yet, I living room with a message. Oh, you get it. A failure to get me that. Man, a weapon. Go ahead, they take away the English. I can't check the record. And you are too good. I need a crash. Go to any other one. Get the podcast out there. Don't get out as you I don't know. When I don't remember, I don't know, and who could talk about the paper in any time. Well, my come. Either get back, yes. So, you only remove from my human friend. Second, when I get with dinner. There can be working out in a forward.
You remember what Pilate said to our Lord Jesus Christ, saying, am I the one who brought you here? Is it not your people who brought you here? I am not the one who brought you here, but your people brought you here, so that you will be able to understand. So by the time even Pilate could make further statements to it, the Jews have already shouted, say, crucify him, crucify him. The statement, crucify him, the demand to crucify, the pronouncement to crucify our Lord Jesus Christ did not come from any other tribe, did not come from people of any other tribe, other than people from the very stock, from the very base place of our Lord Jesus Christ. They were the people who demanded, they were the people who shouted, they were the people who presented him before our Lord Jesus, before the Pilate, saying that he should be crucified. And that was the reason Pilate himself made the open declaration to our Lord Jesus Christ, saying, is this your people who brought you before me? Yes, this happened in order for what was written to fulfill, so that you will be able to understand that nothing happens to you that doesn't come from somebody who is very much close to you. Maybe somebody you raise your hope on, somebody you raise your faith and enter into business, enter into partnership, somebody you lost your hope totally from. If you have to shed tears, if you have to exclaim, if you have to lament, it must come from that person you raised your hope on. It cannot come from any other person, because this is what has already been written right from time immemorial. As it happened to our Lord Jesus Christ, Judas Iscariot is the very person who slept with our Lord Jesus Christ, he died with our Lord Jesus Christ. Whatever he does, he did it with Judas Iscariot. Even all the money that they had throughout that period of military assignment were in the custody and treasurership of Judas Iscariot and no other person. But what happened? When it had to happen, it came from directly that person who moved, who studied, who knew the movement of our Lord Jesus Christ, who knew when he wants to get up, when he wants to sit down, when he wants to speak, when he wants to move out, where he's going everything put together. If it is going to come from John, it means that he would not have been the one that was written about. If it's going to come from Peter, if it's going to come from any other among the disciples, then what was written of the scripture would not have been made manifest, and it wouldn't have been allowed Jesus to judge the way that was written about. But since it was totally written of him, and it has to come to manifest, that is the reason it has to come from Judas Iscariot, that came directly from his son. So whatever happened to you people, and the people will take on the own cases, that it is ignorance that stands out to be the source of your problem. Otherwise, you would not have lamented at all. You would not have wanted to resist any evil doer. Because whatever happens to you, it comes from the person you rested your hope on, and it is in order to fulfill what was written after mankind.
At the same time,
and it is, at the same time, whatever happens, happens exactly from the spoken words of our Lord Jesus Christ. My first lesson, now the rest.
Second from the Gospel according to St. Luke chapter 17 from verses 1 to 2. Jesus said to his disciples, "These things that cause people to think are bound to come, but woe to that person through whom they come. It will be better for him to be thrown into the sea with a millstone tied around his neck than for him to cause one of these little ones to sin." This in the name of our Lord Jesus.
Can you see the
Masu
see the trick of Satan that he used to deceive the human race, because he came out with a popular notion that a righteous man dies quickly, but the sinners live long. And because of this saying, you see a lot of people say, there is no need for me to do that which is right, because somebody who tells truth does not live long. Somebody who practices righteousness does not live long. But if you want to see people who live long, they are the sinners. They are the evil practitioners. And because of that, a lot of people wallow themselves into various forms of iniquity, the various aspects of sinfulness, every day, day in, day out. But the truth is that since you live long on the oceans, in the ocean of iniquity, in the ocean of sinfulness, what does it profit you? What is your relative position so far? What does it benefit you for you to be a stumbling block to your mother, for you to be a stumbling block to your father, for you to be a stumbling block to your brother, for you to be a stumbling block to your sister, to your brethren, to your relation, to another man, for you to betray another person, for you to bear malice against another person, for you to steal another person's property, for you to commit murder, for you to commit fornication, for you to plot evil against another person? What does it profit you? For you to do all these things and you claim to be living long, what does it profit you? Can you not see that of Judas Iscariot? After receiving the 50 pieces of silver and committed the act, what happened? What was his relative position? He was no longer happy with the situation, and he had to return it back and went and hanged himself, so that you'll be able to establish, if you want to recall a significant relation from this lesson, present the situation and Judas Iscariot before yourself and stand before him. Then you will be able to know that no matter the type of sin that you commit, no matter the length of years that you live, so long as you live a sinful and a woeful life, it does not profit you anything. It does not benefit you anything at all. And that is exactly what happened. But the only lesson that you have to draw from this is that you should not resist the evildoer. Because the moment you resist the evildoer, you stand out to be the same person with him, and you stand out to commit the same sin with the person. No matter what somebody wants to do to you, give the chance. Allow the will of God to be made manifest in order for you to receive the glory, in order for the salvation to come unto you. Can you not remember the instance of our Lord Jesus Christ, when by the time the people went out to arrest him, and Peter removed the sword from the shield and smote the ears of the high priest's maid, and our Lord Jesus the Christ told him, said, Peter, put back your sword into the shield, for whosoever lives by the sword shall certainly perish by the sword. Don't you realize that if I were to come here on account of warfare, I would have requested my Father to send me legions of angels? Or do you think that he would not have had the power to request the power to send him legions of angels? But if he had done so by requesting the power to send him the legions of angels to come and wage the war on his behalf, what happens that brought salvation unto mankind? How would that have been made manifest? And how would salvation have come to manifest? Because he knew that if he did so, that salvation would not have come. And since he came purposely in order to cause salvation to mankind, he didn't want to request the Father of that, and that is why it happened. So the same thing happened unto you. If you resist the evildoer, you have prevented the will of God to be made manifest. That was written. So you don't have to resist the evildoer. Allow the will of God to be made manifest. But remember, have the confidence in you that whatsoever a man sows, that certainly he shall reap. Whosoever pour dust onto the ground, some also shall dust goes after. So that you have nothing to lose if you have to allow the evildoer to carry out his or her assignment. But the truth actually come out that the will of God has to be made manifest.
I can buy a class. Only on it buy. ni na wu ko sia ma ke lo ko ma ni na wo fra ida ba ni ma lu ko eti ni ni ko ni ba da years one ugbo gere ka for ma de ki anyo ina no swa na fi bo ya ba ugo ka je ma swa bo ya ma pro ila mo me ro re je ka mo ila mi de ka ba ni ugana therefore try to do it right ya có mấy đi sinh cũng có mấy nào nói I didn't get you. That is true. Now that I said the whole world to you really to there to Jesus. Yeah, that I said God for many years.
When you say, I want to die on account of Christ, I want to die as a man of God, I want to die Christ's death. Do you know what it means to die Christ's death? It means a death of innocence, a death that is born out of purity, a death that is born out of spotless relation, spotless existence, that you commit no evil whatsoever. But if you go to commit adultery with another man's wife, or if you go and take another person's husband, and death comes to you as a result of that, can you openly, even privately, say that you are dying on account of Christ? You can say it, because it is your sin that has placed you out. You are not dying the death of Christ. If you go to steal, if you go to commit murder, if you tell lies, if you betray another person, if you commit any form of vices, and then death comes to you, or any punishment come to you as a result of such commitment, your death has nothing to do with Christ. Your death has nothing to do with the doctrine of our Lord Jesus Christ, because it is your own sin that has fetched you out, and everything belongs to you. That is just the situation. But if you allow yourself totally, if you surrender yourself to God to take dominion over your life, and you do not allow yourself to be disturbed over things of the world, over situations that happens to you, if anything happens to you on account of such surrendering yourself fully and solely to God, you are dying to death of Christ. And that is when you stand to receive the reward. In heaven and on earth, you stand to be discharged and acquitted, because you were a man of God. But in the other round, you can see that whatever happens to men, whatever happens to you in life, it does not come from anywhere. It comes certainly from the person that you love most. Because it is something that you love dearly that death has to emerge from that very particular thing to you. It is not your enemy. It is not somebody outside. It is not the person that you think. Don't you remember that in the case of our Lord Jesus Christ, it wasn't the people that had plotted evil against him, or maybe during the days of his military assignment, that actually committed the act. But it was somebody from his own very feet, between his own feet, that caused the action. In order for what was written in the scripture to be made manifest, that a man's enemy shall certainly become his best neighbor. So that if anything has to come to you, you discover that he must be somebody that you love dearly. He must be something that you rested your heart onto. But the situation is that you don't have to allow yourself to be disturbed in any way. You don't have to allow yourself to be bothered in any way. For the will of God has to be made manifest in order for the glory of God to be revealed.
And you need to go back and go Because you do it. What do you do this? What do you buy it? What do you do it? What's that? When? That's easy. But I'm going to make all that. If you get any job, then I get you one. When was the marriage? Job for you. I don't go to you. It's I nearly got for a long. I nearly know what my name don't for you. And this thing, so whether and book room work and many tata and this thing did not come from any man. It didn't, nobody was responsible for what happened to our Lord Jesus Christ. But it is exactly what was written after him that has to come to manifest. That he had already resolved to come and salvage humanity. Bring salvation to mankind. That is the reason. Whatever happens took place in order for it to be made manifest. In order for the will of God, for the glory of God to be made manifest to man. Don't you remember? Once the whole world had perished, and sinfulness wrought all the human race, and it appears that the work of God will almost be exterminated from the surface of the earth. And so the question comes, who will go to the world to salvage mankind, to cause the sins of man to be forgiven, and nobody make any move to accept the responsibility. But when our Lord Jesus Christ remembered that, if this happens, if the world perish, then the work of his Father will be brought to naught. He rose up his hand and accepted before the Father to come and do the work. So, if that happens, if that is true, and if this is anything to go by, would you then say that it was Judas Iscariot who was responsible for his betrayal or was responsible for his crucifixion? It was not Judas Iscariot. It was not Pilate. It was not Herod. It was not Herod. It was not the Jews. It was not anybody at all. But it is exactly what was written after him that came to manifest in order for the entire human race to receive salvation. So that you will be able to know and take a good lesson from what has been given to you. That you do not have to bother yourself in any way. But you have to make a good choice from now henceforth. What is going to be your relative position before God and in the world that you are? What choice are you making? Because if you continue in sinfulness, if you commit any aspect of sin, certainly you shall stand to suffer the reward that is enumerated and given, set aside for anybody who commits sin. No matter what you do, no matter the least, no matter how small the sin that you commit, certainly you shall reap the reward of somebody who commits sin. And that will be certainly your position. But if you would surrender yourself totally to God, if you will not have anything to do with murder, if you will not have anything to do with maliciousness, if you will not have anything to do with fornication, if you will not have anything to do with telling lies, if you will not have anything to do with plotting evil against another person, if you will not have anything to do with any aspect of iniquity, you remember, you will discover that you stand to be sanctified by God Almighty, and you shall certainly be elevated on high. And then salvation and eternal life belongs to you. But if you allow yourself to be indulged in sinfulness, you shall certainly be condemned and doomed to the hellfire. Then, you get it out from Kaya. So you understand. Without taking us further, we call back a Bible. One second. Yes, Lord.
do I give me back Jesus, if you would again. Then my Baba no book, and I need a Rake Yana pilot, and they can. They came to Judas, and Yakara and Yana, or put the change of a yip. And yet to uncoffee. Or you want them back some by the Yogo. After I saw a pork with them, you ate them more. Man, I was young pork. Came in Kayali, even me very soon. They didn't moist again. With his aunt should do. He called for the other. Then a year to back some by road of a temple. Other young. Amen. Can you have on?
Our second Bible lesson was drawn from St. Matthew's Gospel, chapter 27, reading from verses 1 through 5. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Jesus to put him to death. And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, I have sinned in that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, what is that to us? See thou to that. And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple, and departed and went and hung himself in the name of Lord Jesus Christ.
The first lesson that you have to draw from this is that whosoever loves carnal things, loves wealthy possessions of this world, look at the reward, the end of such a person from what has been read out to you. Whosoever inclines his or her heart to the things of this world, secondly, this has to be the position of such a person. And because Judas Iscariot is such a person who inclined his heart to the things of this world, that was the reason he was given that position that led him to that destiny. A lot of people would say that that man is so lucky to be given that position, to be placed in such a position. Even the individual who found himself in such a position would become so happy and say, I thank God, I am so lucky, it is out of luck that I am given this position. But I want to tell you that there is nothing lucky from that. It is not luck in any way, but rather it is an unfortunate situation, and it is a bad luck, to put it in a nutshell, because that is certainly what will lead you to your weak point. That is certainly what will lead you to damnation. That is exactly what will lead you to the position that has been stated about Judas Iscariot. As a matter of fact, it is not Judas Iscariot alone that is talking about, but the scripture, God is using Judas Iscariot to point out to the entire human race, to all the world, whosoever in the world that incline his or her hearts to worldly positions, to acquisition of wealth, to material things of this world, certainly that will be the result reward of the positions, the agricultural relation of that person towards the worldly position and carnal things of this world that has earned him that position.
And here you come up with any guys who go when you know.
He was the treasurer. He was the treasurer, and all the money got to his custody. Upon all from left and right, you see that all the money that comes gets to him. And he gets custody of them. He has the freedom to dip his hands and use the money as he likes. Present it in whatever, use it and lavish it in whatever way that he wants to use it. In whatever direction that the money comes, he receives and put them into his pocket. And that is exactly what happens. Left and right, he continued to get the money and put it into his pocket. And what was the position? At the end of it all, what happened to him? It is out of that that everything that happened to him comes. In order for you to understand, by the time you will be in a stay in a position, or you will want a position that whatever comes, when money comes from right, left, comes from right, comes from behind you, collect them, put it and swindle, and basically do whatsoever you want. You should not forget what the scripture has already nominated. That whosoever do not incline your hearts to the love of the things of this world, but whosoever allow the love of the things of this world to be in his heart, the love of God certainly is not in him. That is exactly the situation that happens to everybody. If you see anybody who allows the things of this world to take occupation of his own heart, know that such a person has nothing to do with God. Such a person has nothing to do with the glory of God. And it is from what he raised his heart unto those things that he raised his heart unto that anything will happen to him, because the Satan, the tempter, will never look for a child of God. He will certainly look for somebody who is a man of the world, a man of the earth, because he knew that you have your heart in money, you place your hand in material position, and that is where he will direct you to these things, and that is where you could be trapped. But whosoever is a child of God, whosoever has allowed his or her heart to be inclined unto the heavenly things, there is nothing anybody will be able to get you trapped unto, because you have already surrendered yourself unto God and the things of the heavenly. But it is only somebody who allows himself to be totally and fully filled with the things of this world that could be derailed out of the path of rectitude at any point in time, because he allowed himself to be carnally conscious.
But, and your brother, David Jesus, upon his position. anya ya ko mo ko e ke na o to wa ora o wa ma si ya ara u te me le ke dire na ku isi ri fa eri ku ku ana ne ka na bana ne ka ba sudah ini dah kata ekwe wajah kaki dulu kaki ni jangan kaki ni kau ini apa anak nama kusum ciri kerja kata kata bawa angko mentor dulu anak kan no again bawa ni bawa no rekod ayam ini mana ni nak and second October. And you will not give up. Whether you can come to know, I am
Can you not see the most disgraceful aspect of it and most pitiable? Judas Iscariot betrayed our Lord Jesus Christ for just 30 pieces of silver. But the amount of money in his possession before this episode of 30 pieces of silver were over 100 million. But look at just 30 pieces of silver stand out to be the culmination of the end of all that length of period that he says, everything that he did, the period that he spent with our Lord Jesus Christ, the name that he appeared to be among the disciples stand out to be totally erased from the surface of the earth and from the human history as a result of just 30 pieces of silver, whereas over hundreds of millions were lying at his own disposal. The same thing also happens. Somebody will say, let me just go and cheat him and collect a little money to go and buy a cigarette. What would I do me? What would happen to me? Nothing will happen to me. But what will be the relative position? Even when you have access to millions of money, but a very little thing, since your heart inclines onto the carnal thing, inclines onto money, inclines onto worldly positions, it is a very little one that will be used to trap you onto death, onto condemnation. And that is just exactly what will happen. It is not only Judas Iscariot, but all over the world, everybody in the universe that you find out, whatever stands out to be their positions, whatever stands out to be the cause of their downfall, is not unconnected with this development. So that you will be able to recall yourself and stand out to see that whatever things you do, if you give somebody, if you plan evil, if you plot against another person, what will be the position? I am just pointing this out to you, for you to know exactly that whatever you do, whether that of giving money to somebody to collect money, even here in Brotherhood of the Trust is that, it may be because you are a chairman, maybe because you happen to hold a position in any fellowship or in any organization here in Brotherhood, and you decide to eat the money, swindle the money, embezzle the money that comes into your disposal. Have you ever heard me saying anything? I am not disturbed. I don't even make as if I'm concerned in any way, and I'm not concerned at all, and I will never be concerned at all, because I've already made it abundantly clear to you what will be the end of somebody who commits what you are practicing, so that you'll be able to use that to know whether what you are doing, where you will be your destiny, and what it will earn you. That is exactly what is happening all over, so that there is nothing for you to go and exclaim about anybody who continues. Whatever that you stand to see, stand out to be the relative position and reward of what is related to what you committed.
Reason back right there, not the sticker that or Judah, Mr. Jacob, and here you woman in a young day, and you then in Joseph. Who better be woman? Men of Judas, Yarayana. Judas, Judas, Yarayana, and you walk. What would be the consequence? Don't worry, this here. Yes. Eka, Mago Eka. Eka, you may use the example. Finally, and yet it's pure.
Can you see that? To make you understand that blood is thicker than water, remember the 12 sons of Jacob. Judah comes out of the 12 sons of Jacob. And when one of the sons of Jacob, by name Joseph, was to be sold out to slavery, Reuben gave an opinion that he should be sold out and his garments that he should be killed and his garment torn and shown to the father. But it was Judah who gave the opinion that you should be sold out and get the money. Yes, because right from the beginning, he had that carnal consciousness of acquisition of wealth, of getting money, of possessing anything related to this carnal world. And you will discover also that Achan, what happened to Achan, all the events and what Achan did, it was not unconnected with the fact that Achan came out from that side of Judah. So that all the people in this world that you see that acquire wealth, whether they be president like Ahmadu Ahijo, the Herods and all other people, because of their position, they acquire
because they need play. Then we can guide them. Then we will well, 2,000. Okay, so I get private. Then go. Then a year got that. No. And do it. You put back. See now they don't know when you don't go. You know, and yet, where are they? Everybody, you know,
so that anybody from this tribe of Judah so that from the beginning you will see that anybody from that tribe has to be identified with such carnal thinking, with the consciousness of acquisition of words, and in the end it does not profit them anything. They don't even use it, and they don't gain salvation. They lost their life also. What you have to take from this is that you do not have to resist the evildoer at all. Allow the evildoer to continue in whatever he does, but incline your heart unto righteousness. Because if our Lord Jesus Christ were to resist, by the time Judas Iscariot started it, it means he would have not been the one. He saw what Judas did right from the onset. And if he were to hurt him, maybe dismiss him from among the foes, it means that he would not have been the one. But since he was the one risen after, he did not allow himself to be disturbed in any way. He allowed him to continue to do whatsoever he did. But what was the end of Judas Iscariot? You have meant to know the end actually. And that's what stands out to represent anybody of this kind of relation. Anybody who comes from this tribe. That is the reason I have told you, and I have been giving it out to you every day, that you should be able to define clearly your relative position. If you stand for righteousness, stand firm unto righteousness. Even as our Lord Jesus Christ has said to the mouth of John the Divine in Revelation, said, if you want to be filthy, continue to be filthy. If you want to be unjust, continue to be unjust. If you want to be holy, be holy. If you want to be righteous, continue to be righteous still. That is clearly what you should be able to define your own position. What type of choice you ought to make. If you want to indulge yourself in sinfulness, go ahead. But if you know that it pays to be righteous, allow yourself totally, surrender yourself totally to God, and allow God to reign in your life. Do not resist the evildoer at all at any point in time, because you will certainly emerge unto salvation. You should certainly emerge unto glory. That is the reason you find here what is given us as the nomenclature of Brotherhood of the Cross. It is called Brotherhood of the Cross and Staff, because whatsoever a man does, that certainly he shall reap. Whatever type of reward that you gain here, if you emerge unto staff, it is because of your own righteousness. It is because of your own deeds. If you suffer from any situation here, do not say that you are bearing the cross. It comes out of whatever is your relative position. And that is what stands out to be clear here. So that you don't have to bother yourself in any way. If you like, go and steal money. If you like, go and commit fornication. If you like, go and dupe somebody and get money. Whatever money you get, take it to whatever you want to do. Take it to wherever you want to go. I don't have anything to do with this. Don't bring it here because I don't have anything to do with this. I'm not even interested. I don't want to see it. Because if you want to remember and call yourself into action, you will know that your forefathers, your fathers, your mothers, your brethren, your relations, your kinsmen who killed people to get money, they did not benefit from anything. Who dupe people to get money? Who dupe people to become rich? Who commit fornication in order for them to get on a better position? Who do all sorts of woeful acts in order for them to get themselves better off? We're not better off and in any way, and in the end, their relative position has been stated out to you in the scripture. So that you have to know exactly which position, which is your choice, and what stands out to be your relative position here.
So,
Let us go to test the way.
Eri yaru pan pan na ka to me ka God kun te jona wet. Ibara ke do me ka sa me pa si e fre ka si me fre na. Ndan kan ba mu ko ko ko. Ma fyang ma me kan da. Ali pa chen te mara sun te ke me de te. Adi au ja mi su ko ra trani. Uta ma da na mi ni tan na mo. Kini pa mi wara ki su ka man tin eri wara su. Ko pe nam ka kwani ko ate. Amen dear yet, and then
Our golden text was taken from John chapter 13, verse 18 and 19. I speak not of you all, I know whom I have chosen. But that the scripture may be fulfilled, he that eateth bread with me hath lifted up his head and left me. Now I tell you before it comes, that when it is come to pass, you may believe that I am he. And now, Lord Jesus. Amen.
Now, you need an
Can you see what I've been read out to you? For you to know the position of the foolish. Now, I want to use an earthly things to illustrate the heavenly one. Anything that you anything that you see is to reveal the glory of God. And nothing happens that is outside what was nominated to manifest in order for the will of God to be revealed. Even if you see a hell of people descending down from the sky and fell on the ground and all of them died, nothing spoiled. It were meant to reveal the glory of God. Another way, if you see people maybe raising up from the ground and in the mid-air they became hanged, whereas some of them on the ground they were died. All of them happened in order to bring manifest the glory of God. Or if people get up and they come down and nothing happened to them, all of them stand out to be alive. It meant also to reveal the glory of God. It does not happen outside what was written that it should happen in order for the glory of God to be made manifest. So,
Nene ka ko se. Amata na. Aja macha. Pokoknya nggak. Aja aku deh. Aja deh. Iwa yone kampo. Jadi kina berkuda di situ. Mana itu kayak nama. Soalnya di mana tu nama. Jadi, agak banyak tu juga. Pemut tu kayak nama yang nama kisah. Boom. Ya kasar. Cara anda bertubuh. Mata ni kita, mata kita, wang. No, ada apa saya menyebut di sini? Abang cek, mana ni? Mana ni? Semua nasa ada jam. Ayah bisa keluar kasih. Mohon. Saya menyebut sini. Then, oh,
there's a city that certain young men were in the city, and they set out on fetching firewood. As they went, upon approaching a place, one of them not fell into water, a stream, and he decided to go into it in order to find it out. As he went inside, he passed onto, and until he passed to reach a place that he finds a very old woman. And as he approached that point, here over here, people thought that he is dead, because others had gone and nobody understood what was his will about. But behold, at this point in time, he was already being struck by various forms of sickness like leprosy and many other things that happened to his skin all over. And so by the time he get to the city of this old woman, and he was being held hostage by this woman, on the day he was instructed. The woman suffered from leprosy, and when the young man was instructed to go to the stream, and it happened, after going to the stream and following the instruction that was given, the second instruction get to him from the woman that he should get to a farm, and when he gets to the farm, he will find garden egg. He should pluck the garden egg, but he should not eat any of them. It is still the same woman also that manifested into a very beautiful girl before this young man, and demanded that the young man should give him the garden egg, should give her the garden egg to eat. But the young man said, no, I was instructed not to give any, not to release one. And in spite of the way that the manifested old woman into the beautiful girl tried to call the young man into action in order to give the garden egg, he did not allow himself to be lodged into that demand. And so he took the garden egg completely as he had it to the house. When the old woman got him in the house, asked him, have you eaten of the garden egg? He said, no. Tell me, have you not eaten about any of them? He said, no. He said, okay. Use water and then rinse your mouth and pour it and let me find out. By the time he did it, the woman confirmed after that he ate not of the garden egg. He said, okay. Now, I'm about to go on a journey. When you see rats running on the roof, many know that it is about time that I am to come back. And you should take precaution. Whatever you see, don't touch. Whatever comes out of that rat race, don't touch anything. And so the woman left. The he had a head of rat running all over the roof. And as a result of that rest, a very big fish fell on the ground and scattered. Since he had the instruction, he followed the instructions completely and gathered all the fish together and put it at one place. When the woman came back and saw him, asked him, have you eaten the fish? He said no. Tell me, have you eaten the fish? He said no, that he has not touched the fish to eat any of them. So the woman said, okay, use water and rinse your mouth and let me see whether you have actually eaten the fish. And he did so, and the woman confirmed that he has not eaten the fish at all. So when it was the day that he was to be sent out to go, he was to be released to go. So that day, he was given a very good instruction that he should abide by. That there's going to be 8 pots. And from these 8 pots, the first one that he will knock, he will hear a very good sound. And he should not be bothered. And until when he gets to the one, maybe the first one, when he gets to the one, that he will see water. And that water will be so pure, will be so clean, he should have nothing to do with water, should not bother himself about the water. But until when he gets to the one that he will see the water that will be so purity and filled with so many things, that is the one that he should have concern over.
So, good, muito, e zomba, ada apa? Bah, jangan, zomba. Hey, good everything. Mereka nak bawa ni kan? Iya. Kau tu mana ke sama mereka? Ah? Dan kau macam ni? Orang kau aja. Ikan jauh, ikan jauh. Esok kita buka, cuba buka sesi macam.
And so, the young man followed the instruction that was given to him. He passes from the pot that had the sound until he gets to the pot where there was the filthy water, and he did exactly as he was instructed. And after doing exactly as he was instructed, he found himself arriving at his home. And by the time he arrived at his home, there were a lot of joy. People were so happy having seen him because of the forgotten memory and the loss of hope he has told his about. So there were a lot of joy. People became so happy. And so when, amidst this happiness, as he arrived, other people said, open door, open door, open door. By the time they opened the door, he called. When he called out wealth. He called out again money. He called out again gold. He called out again so many good things. So gold, money, riches, all amount of wealth.
I think you want what? Dia ni sangat itu yang jangan dah. Sikit nam nami aku dia kami aku kami aja asyik nami. Dia ni bangsa. Kami sudah tu. Dia lagi ni nak jalan. Dia orang jalan. Iya.
Coming back once again in this last station to come and see, come and sanctify thy children and also establish thy kingdom and end selected.
Yeah, John.
Apa umpamanya kita ganti oleh siapa? Karena kau kira-kira tiba, ayo yang ada orang beri siapa? Anak kampoi wajib. Dia orang aku, kiri dah ada moni. Amen. Apa pun yang nyawa ni pada istiaru kau banyak kita. Jadi dua banyak tinggal. Apa nanya ni nam April di Tommy. Kira dua. Amen. Terima kasih. Amen.
Udah apa yang because you get the Matthew Gospel, you will say the Tiaba, fine call it to you. Eddie King, you said, Open the Popu Yambio, Owobio, Edward Johnny, ever Jesus said you would again. Yet, Marvin, ever Nubok, Eda Nekaya, Eda Nekaya, no pilot, and Nekara. They can kill Judas in Yakada and Yano, or put the table in Yigwe, and yet one popular. Onye mmadụ mbakọrọ banyere yoro after asọ ikpọ ọkụ yomi eke mmanụ ndị ọmụkpọ kemi nke ya ndị ibe na mmiri isiokwu nọ edi mmụọ ikenye gịnị saa ntụrụ ike ọfenyero ndị na-enye otu mbakọrọ ba ụlọ ụlọ kete mkpa ada anya nwa kejiri ọkpa eme mpenye ọba nwere
Jadi ya harus pengkonyol sehingga God di zona di polisi mereka bangsa mereka terus mereka. Bukan gambar muka motor mami kemerde. Adi empat yang malas pun kemerde. Adi ada yang mesti kerjakan. Kita orang ini semua muka. Ini empat ni wara isuka mantini ali wara su kupekwe namta kwani kwa ite ami ndiye ne nimente waro amen.
Our first Bible reading was taken from the Gospel according to St. Luke
chapter 27, verses 1 through 5. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Jesus to put him to death. And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, I have sinned in that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, What is that to us? See thou that to that. And he cut down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed, and went and hung himself in the name of Lord Jesus Christ.
Our closing text is extracted from the Gospel according to St. John, chapter 13, verses 18 through 19. I speak not of you all, I know whom I have chosen, but that the scripture might be fulfilled. He that eateth bread with me hath lifted up his heel against me. Now I tell you before it comes, that when it was found fast, you may believe that I am he. The Lord of Lord Jesus Christ.
Brethren, I am not giving you this gospel as something you have no knowledge of, but I give it to you with the understanding of your full consciousness of it, that whatever has written has to come to fulfillment, and the scripture might be fulfilled by this message.
Hey, back from the guys, takes that. I want to come on down with
But the truth is that the lesson to be drawn from these three texts are enough to carry you through life, even for the next 100 or 1 million years. Like the organist has already said some time ago, that the lesson which tends to baffle him so much is the one that says that whatever a man sows, that he certainly shall reap. Implying that if you do good to somebody, that good certainly belongs to you, because it has to come back to you. If you do bad, if you do evil to another person, that evil certainly has to come and reside with you. Can you not see the analogy of this lesson in the three texts which have been read to you? And this has come to us so transparently that the handiwork of any man follows after the person who commits it. It also teaches us to do that which is good in order for us to be rewarded. Because if you look through these lessons that you have been receiving, you will see that there is nothing profitable in committing evil. At any point in time, there is no evildoer that stands to benefit from whatever evil that he commits. Because whatsoever you do at any time, the reward will still have to follow significantly from the relative standpoint of what you have committed. And who is the person that is to go empty-handed? It is Satan.
I know how to get before the implication is where we have money. Who is that?
It also shows that whatever is non-existent spiritually is physically also non-existent. But whatever thing that you see that happens here in the spiritual world, it is what has already been written. That is the reason it becomes imperative that we have to be very conscious of whatever we do. For the scripture so nominates that God knows those who reverence him and help us unto them, but to them that reverence him not are the ones that kill the Jews. What has happened to us this week does not happen to God unaware, but it is only to you, man, who it comes unaware.
Who were in things no? You call me crack again. I guess. You should get it done. You're a man. A man says, you're not going to do whatever you do. Jonah. The Jonah gets everything to do. You will be done. Look at you when it's like it. You can question.
Because all this brings into memory the spoken words of our Lord Jesus Christ when he said, "What shall I compare this sinful generation unto? Because this generation looks for a sign, but certainly no other sign shall be given to this generation other than the sign of Jonah. For as Jonah remained in the fish of the belly for 3 days and 3 nights, so also shall the Son of Man stays under the heart of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights." Can you not see the manifestation of this spoken words of our Lord Jesus Christ?
Now, the thing is about my brother. So God will manage you. I will go down and book will come over and I'll give you. You bring it again.
And now, what is the lesson that you are expected to draw from this event and from this manifestation? Can you not see that it is incumbent upon you to believe whatever proceeds out of the mouth of the Lord Jesus Christ, whatever proceeds out of the mouth of God, whether it is soonest to come to manifestation or whether it's going to take time before it comes to manifestation, you have to believe it because he is true and his words are true.
And I'm not job. No, you saw here better. He got one.
And he's already made us to understand from the scriptural nomination that heavens and earth will pass away, but not even an iota of his word shall fail to come to manifestation. If you were of the carnal opinion or otherwise that there is any iota of the statement of our Lord Jesus Christ or the word of God that is nominated in the scripture which shall fail to come to manifest, I want you to dislodge such conception from your mind, from beginning from Genesis and on to Revelation. Whatsoever has been written of God has to come to manifest. Can you not see that it didn't occur to him unconsciously? And that is why it is said from the scripture of our first lesson that he said unto the disciples, it is impossible that offenses will come, but woe unto him through whom they come. It were better that for him that a man should be hanged about his neck and he cast into the sea than for him to offend one of these little ones. Yet this is an important lesson for you to ponder on and to realize that there is nothing that stands to be gained from committing evil. Nothing could be rewarded at all for somebody who commits evil other than the significance of the evil such a person has committed. And that is the reason, no matter what an individual does, the faith still has to be decided in the same total of what he has done. That is why a popular aphorism has already made us to understand that fight does not end in your carrying the other or your opponent down on the ground. After carrying your opponent down on the ground, you may well have found yourself that that is over. I want to tell you that that is not the end of the fight. What about what has to be regrettable to what you have already committed? Yes, no matter what an individual does, go heavens and come down, there is nothing that somebody who commits evil will gain profitably from committing evil whatsoever, no matter the distance. So after being able to understand this, you will see that there is nothing that somebody who commits murder, who commits fornication, who steals, somebody who bears malice against another person, somebody who joins gangs to plan evil against another person has to gain from committing such acts. And if you have to bring this into memory, then you will find that it is too shameful and inanimate for anybody to plot evil.
And yet they will go with it. The food better.
And the Father said to us abundantly clear from scriptural nomination that there is nothing an individual stands to gain for any act that such a person commits. And at any point in time, the derivation from what the individual commits is totally open, because he is not unaware of whatever happened. All that has happened were written, and he is very conscious of whatever happened at any point in time. And that is why nothing ever gets to him unaware.
No, one day, situation in the same of they were there by me. Yeah, that's it. No, you won't not. Even the you know, swagger.
I am telling you that up to December, I will continue to unveil one after another all that were written after him, and to make you to understand that nothing written after him shall fail to come to manifest. Not only unto December, even unto next year and unto eternity, I shall continue to unveil all that has been written after him, and to make you understand that nothing ever that were written of them shall fail to come to manifest.
Let me take you look at that. And I am going to but I don't know. You need that strength.
Listen attentively and recall our first lady, which said, then he said unto the disciples, it is impossible that offenses will come, but woe unto him through whom they come. It were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and he cast into the sea, than that he should offend one of these little ones. Yes, take note of that, and view it seriously to understand that woe unto him through whom offenses have to come to anybody.
You know, right? And you can form a big letter.
And and also recall yourself that if these things did not happen, how would the glory of God have been made manifest? This thing happens in order for the glory of God to be made manifest. And also to make you understand, when you say, God revealed yourself to me, God revealed yourself to me, God used me to reveal your glory, then you have to know that in order for that to take place, something has to happen. Now ask yourself the question, if our Lord Jesus Christ and his disciples were to go through all their ministerial assignments of era and nothing happened, especially like it has been written, what do you think that would have been the relative situation? And how do you think that the glory of God would have been made manifest? Don't you realize that at the time the disciples would have said, that is how he used to make his statement and nothing happened? And then what do you think that would have been the significance of such authority? Because it was written that the shepherd shall certainly be smitten in order for the sheep to scatter. Then if it were not smitten, how would the shepherd have scattered, and what would have happened? Would he not have been same as a liar from the statement that he made?
How? Benjamin got the word in so. Can you not see that this thing happens in
because whatever he did pertains to somebody who committed no evil. He betrayed an innocent blood, and you will see that all events amounted to the fact that our Lord Jesus Christ was totally pure. He did not commit any evil. He was not worthy of that crucifixion that happened to him, the condemnation, the betrayal that Judas Iscariot did. And that is the reason he himself confessed openly that he had betrayed an innocent blood. And as a result of that, he took the pieces of paper to the chief priests and the elders and surrendered it totally to them, confessing that he had betrayed an innocent blood. But the people in heaven said to him that, what is that to us? See thou to that. And what follows after that? To make you understand what he has already said in the context of our first lesson, that woe unto him, through him, that these things come. Secondly, who killed Judas Iscariot? Did anybody shoot him by the gun? Or did anybody hang him? Did anybody set fire on him? Nobody did it. But it is to fulfill what has already been written, which our Lord Jesus Christ said, that woe unto him through whom this thing comes. Secondly, it has to happen for you to understand clearly that there is nothing an individual does. Whatever type of thing that you do, secondly, you have to reward it. You have to reap the reward. And that is why it is openly enunciated that whatsoever a man sows, that he shall certainly reap. And whatever a man does follows after him.
Utereye bakpampo. Eke ni wa na tare dijai. Abati yoki yonko. Ete yo spotless dog. Ebeli jege ngeke ni ko ni yo. Ele sike yo spot de kana wa na ali ko ko. Ya dai. Ele ke apa bai de. Ta ni no to ana. Very bai. And that is that of God. The Bible they were the masses and they who saw the million who are the but yeah, banded send them, got that was fight and man of the soul. Who will run in the water?
The culture. The vulture looks for a dead meat, a dead animal, before it can take for a meat. Whereas the lion will not eat anything that is dead. Anything that the lion has to eat has to be live in order for it to tear and eat. The same thing also happens. You will be able to understand that God did not look for any sinful person, anybody who has committed evil, but rather he looked for a spotless blood, an innocent blood. And if our Lord Jesus Christ were to commit any evil, he would not have been worthy of the wondrous assignment. That is the reason he exonerated himself from all aspects of iniquity in order for him to be worthy of the wondrous assignment. And that was the reason he became the only one among all the creations to be worthy to save mankind. And that is the only one that was capable of saving us. So that you will be able to understand that anybody who commits evil, even if you have 100 million of evil practitioners, they are nothing. They cannot mean anything because they cannot offer any salvation to any mankind except an innocent blood, such as our Lord Jesus Christ, that is capable of salvation the whole human race. To recall you back to the aphorism I have already given to you people, that the vulture looks for a dead animal before it can search for a meat, whereas the lion looks for a live animal, an animal that is not yet died, so that you'll be able to reconcile the two and to understand what happened.
So, probably for Jesse and Ghana for some years. pan yes three man pan
I am
man pan ya pan ada lah usang boleh usang boleh Nino John Janko, and you might go pilot kilometers. I said, go, are you always that? You know that? Young enough for Yina. They got shut up. What's over that book? Me money come a gala me young for young. A man was the most young for I can't see anything. Then say your parents. Then they do that. And he forgets it. Right. Yes. Who will be Bangayan Bakabu? And when you would really know that you'll be sure of get down. The guy, yeah.
I want to bring to you 4 significant witnesses to make you understand that our Lord Jesus Christ was the one worthy of carrying out the assignment of bringing salvation to the whole human race. And so whatever happens in order to fulfill what has already been written. It did not happen because he was sinful, he was guilty. It did not happen because he was a sinner. But it happened in order that what was written has to come to manifest, in order for salvation to come to mankind. The first among these witnesses that I want to bring to you is Pilate's wife. Remember the dream that Pilate's wife had and said to the husband that I had a series of torture in the dream this night concerning these just and innocent faces. See that you have nothing evil at all to do concerning this person because I have been so tortured today in my dream. That was a first and significant witness testifying to the innocency of our Lord Jesus Christ as far as the betrayal, the condemnation, and the crucifixion of his is concerned. The second is Pilate himself. Pilate testified before the Jews described, saying, I find no evil in this person. And that was an open testimony to show that he was innocent. The third of it were the 2 thieves on the cross. The other one said to our Lord Jesus Christ, you say that you are the Son of God. Why not help yourself and help us also? But the other thieves hallowed unto him, saying, shut up. Don't you know that we are worthy of the offense of the punishment that we are receiving because we have committed acts that enable us, that prompt us to receive this punishment. But this is an innocent person who has not committed any evil at all, and he ought not to be placed on this level of punishment whatsoever. That was another significant and third witness to make us understand the relative position of the innocence of our Lord Jesus Christ as far as that crucifixion is concerned. And the other one has to do with the testimony of Judas Iscariot himself, who openly testified that he has betrayed an innocent blood. Can you not see that these things put together goes a long way to bring into memory that he was not guilty in any way, but whatever happened in order for the scripture to be fulfilled. Even if 100 people feeling all over the world were to die, since they are sinners, they would not have been able to wrought any salvation unto mankind. And that is the reason the dead you continue to find every day in the world today happen as a result of their relative sinfulness. But our Lord Jesus Christ was totally pure, innocent, and spotless. And that is the reason he stands out to be the only one worthy of the assignment of reminiscence for the sins of mankind.
Ladies of the golden text. Miguel Kuku. Ting bom no dangani kini min bom min sebagai bali ni mereka di cerai untuk cuaca amin dia ya ni kira dia dekat cuaca itu
and listen attentively to what is nominated when he said, I speak not of you all, but I know whom I have chosen. For he that eateth my food has raised up his shield against me. I say this thing to you now, that when it comes to pass, ye may know that I am he. Can you not understand that that is a very clear, open, and transparent revelation of what was written after him? Me
kira open and the day of Jesus can go and get Jesus. Getting our son by many adding that many baking by right from Genesis 49. Again, here begin Christ to the world. Những cái mà cả lại còn mà lại người chết anh có biết như cái có cái gì có là ra đấy chứ có những cái bút mình đang dùng băng cũng có là ý cái luôn lấy đó cũng có bạn này rồi cũng có bữa nay nói chứ ada nói kêu chúng ta cả những cái gì này nè Tidak bawa nanti bawa kerja je. Saya ada yang ni. Itu sini dulu bawa mana 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 su. Lupa je lah nak pergi. Betul tidak. Jangan mau. Kamu jawab ni. Bukan kalau jawab kerja tu, apa ya? Ini kan dia. Aku bawa nanti nak. Ada kami sini dia ni apa nama?
So you will understand that all that happened were written after him, and they happened in order for the glory of God to be made manifest. You see that our Lord Jesus Christ suffered the betrayal, and not from any other person, but from Judas Iscariot. And clearly from what has been stated in the scripture, he said it already. In order that by the time it happens, none of the disciples or no other person will get it on the surface. But we have to understand that it has already been written, and it has to come through that message. You see what is written in Genesis chapter 49. If you read, you will know that the beginning of Christ, the generation, the genealogy of our Lord Jesus Christ comes from the tribe of Judah. And if you read from that Genesis chapter 49, what is written after Judah, you will understand exactly that these things were already written far back before his physical manifestation. And so by the time he chose Judas Iscariot to the position that he remained among the disciples, he never made any mistake at all. But rather, he chose him in order for what was written to come to manifest. By the time anybody would have complained, is it the his own time, and he knew very well. And this same Judas Iscariot also comes from the same tribe, from the same stock of our Lord Jesus Christ, so that you will be able to know that no other person among the disciples and among other persons that were meant to have carried out that assignment, apart from Judas Iscariot that came also from his own tribe, in order to fulfill what has already been written. Because if it didn't happen that way, it means that they would not have been the one. But since it was written after him, it has to happen in order for everybody to understand that the word of God is true and God himself is true. So that from what is happening in the process of life, maybe somebody stayed in overseas country and they said that a ghost came, get to the place that they stayed in overseas country, and then slapped him down and he fell and died. And for you to know that it doesn't come from anywhere. If that happens to anybody, it does not come from anywhere, but it comes directly from his own family, from where he comes from. Nothing happens to anybody that does not come from exactly where you come from. It must be from somebody between the own feet that caused that thing to happen. And that is why Prophet Adam says that it is the man of the house that invites the outside man to come and dine with it. So that anything that happens to anybody, it can never come from anywhere. It must come from somebody who is very much between the own feet. Yes, and that is the reason it is written. What said about our Lord Jesus Christ, because if it were so, it means that he would not have been the one. But it happens quite well because it has already been written and it has to come to manifest.
Even Father Jacob, I mean the Jew. You call me where I did it. You Jew. You call me where I did so I did. Anything Jew. You call me the wood. You don't know. I mean the Jew. You don't know what they get. Man coming in of the down and not to we are. You don't know what I got. Oh, yes, I mean, them because of it. I knew me every day. You're not the best. Who propose you? I come. You don't do it. You're all right. What can I do? I don't look at what they did. It's a gap. I can put in the bad one. And yet, I think living room with a message. Oh, you get it. A failure to get me that. Man, a weapon. Go ahead, they take away the news. I can't check the record. And you are too good. I need a crash. Go to any other one. Get the podcast out there. Don't get that as you I don't know. Okay. I don't remember. I don't know. I'm too cool to take any time. Well, my come. Either back. Yes. So, you only move from my human friend. Second, when I get with dinner. There can be work here. I'm waiting.
Even remember what Pilate said to our Lord Jesus Christ, saying, am I the one who brought you here? Is it not your people who brought you here? I am not the one who brought you here, but your people brought you here, so that you will be able to understand. So by the time even Pilate could make further statements to it, the Jews have already shouted, say, crucify him, crucify him. The statement, crucify him, the demand to crucify, the pronouncement to crucify our Lord Jesus Christ did not come from any other tribe, did not come from people of any other tribe, other than people from the very stock, from the very base place of our Lord Jesus Christ. They were the people who demanded, they were the people who shouted, they were the people who presented him before our Lord Jesus, before the Pilate, saying that he should be crucified. And that was the reason Pilate himself made the open declaration to our Lord Jesus Christ, saying, is it your people who brought you before me? Yes, this happened in order for what was written to fulfill, so that you will be able to understand that nothing happens to you that doesn't come from somebody who is very much close to you. Maybe somebody you raise your hope on, somebody you raise your faith and enter into business, enter into partnership, somebody you lost your hope totally from. If you have to shed tears, if you have to exclaim, if you have to lament, it must come from that person you rested your hope on. It cannot come from any other person, because this is what has already been written right from time immemorial. As it happened to our Lord Jesus Christ, Judas Iscariot is the very person who slept with our Lord Jesus Christ. He died with our Lord Jesus Christ. Whatever he does, he did it with Judas Iscariot. Even all the money that they had throughout that period of military assignment were in the custody and treasurership of Judas Iscariot and no other person. But what happened? When it had to happen, it came from directly that person who moved, who studied, who knew the movement of our Lord Jesus Christ, who knew when he wants to get up, when he wants to sit down, when he wants to speak, when he wants to move, and where he's going to, the direction and the destiny, and everything put together. If it is going to come from John, it means that he would not have been the one that was written about. If it's going to come from Peter, if it's going to come from any other among the disciples, then what was written of the scripture would not have been made manifest, and it wouldn't have been our Lord Jesus the Christ the way that was written about. But since it was totally written of him, and it has to come to manifest, that is the reason it has to come from Judas Iscariot, that came directly from his son. So whatever happened to you people, and the people will take and go untasted, that it is ignorance that stands out to be the source of your problem. Otherwise, you would not have lamented at all. You would not have wanted to resist any evil doer. Because whatever happened to you, it comes from the person you rested your hope on, and it is in order to fulfill what was written after mankind.
At the same time, yes.
And it is, at the same time, whatever happens, happens exactly from the spoken words of our Lord Jesus Christ. My first lesson, now we read.
Second from the Gospel according to St. Luke chapter 17 from verses 1 to 2. Jesus said to his disciples, "These things that cause people to think are bound to come, but woe to that person through whom they come. It will be better for him to be thrown into the sea with a millstone tied around his neck than for him to cause one of these little ones to sin." This in the name of our Lord Jesus.
Can you see the
benefits. And you will look at what I'm at that. I will not. Ini enemy, kita mental play the engine. Ma pese jamin kama kani ipete mo. O yi bi kama kani ipete so. Le ipete te tu mo. Iporo mi ipete. Le mo ra ka ba.
Can you not see the trick of Satan that he used to deceive the human race? Because he came out with a popular notion that a righteous man dies quickly, but the sinners live long. And because of this saying, you see a lot of people say, there is no need for me to do that which is right, because somebody who tells truth does not live long. Somebody who practices righteousness does not live long. But if you want to see people who live long, they are the sinners. They are the evil practitioners. And because of that, a lot of people wallow themselves into various forms of iniquity, the various aspects of sinfulness, every day, day in, day out. But the truth is that since you live long and in the ocean of iniquity, in the ocean of sinfulness, what does it profit you? What is your relative position so far? What does it benefit you for you to be a stumbling block to your mother, for you to be a stumbling block to your father, for you to be a stumbling block to your brother, for you to be a stumbling block to your sister, to your brethren, to your relation, to another man, for you to betray another person, for you to bear malice against another person, for you to steal another person's property, for you to commit murder, for you to commit fornication, for you to plot evil against another person? What does it profit you? For you to do all these things and you claim to be living long, what does it profit you? Can you not see that of Judas Iscariot? After receiving the 50 pieces of silver and committed the act, what happens? What was his relative position? He was no longer happy with the situation, and he had to return it back and went and hanged himself, so that you'll be able to establish, if you want to recall a significant relation from this lesson, present the situation and Judas Iscariot before yourself and stand before him. Then you will be able to know that no matter the type of sin that you commit, no matter the length of years that you live, so long as you live a sinful and a woeful life, it does not profit you anything. It does not benefit you anything at all. And that is exactly what happened. But the only lesson that you have to draw from this is that you should not resist the evildoer. Because the moment you resist the evildoer, you stand out to be the same person with him, and you stand out to commit the same sin with the person. No matter what somebody wants to do to you, give the chance. Allow the will of God to be made manifest in order for you to receive the glory, in order for the salvation to come unto you. Can you not remember the instance of our Lord Jesus Christ, when by the time the people went up to arrest him, and Peter removed the sword from the shield and smote the ears of the high priestess, and our Lord Jesus the Christ told him, said, Peter, put back your sword into the shield, for whosoever live by the sword shall certainly perish by the sword. Don't you realize that if I were to come here on account of warfare, I would have requested my Father to send me legions of angels? Or do you think that he would not have had the power to request the power to send him legions of angels? But if he had done so by requesting the power to send him the legions of angels to come and wage the war on his behalf, what happens that brought salvation unto mankind? How would that have been made manifest? And how would salvation have gone to manifest? Because he knew that if he did so, that salvation would not have come. And since he came purposely in order to cause salvation to mankind, he didn't want to request the Father of that, and that is why it happened. So the same thing happened unto you. If you resist the evildoer, you have prevented the will of God to be made manifest. That was written. So you don't have to resist the evildoer. Allow the will of God to be made manifest. But remember, have the confidence in you that whatsoever a man sows, that certainly he shall reap. Whosoever pour dust onto the ground, some also shall dust goes after. So that you have nothing to lose if you have to allow the evildoer to carry out his or her assignment. But the truth actually come out that the will of God has to be made manifest.
I can buy a class. Only on it buy Therefore, the whole world to you there to Jesus. Yeah, I said to
when you say, I want to die on account of Christ, I want to die as a man of God, I want to die Christ's death. Do you know what it means to die Christ's death? It means a death of innocence, a death that is born out of purity, a death that is born out of faultless relation, faultless existence, that you commit no evil whatsoever. But if you go to commit adultery with another man's wife, or if you go and take another person's husband, and death comes to you as a result of that, can you openly, even privately, say that you are dying on account of Christ? You can say it, because it is your sin that has placed you out. You are not dying the death of Christ. If you go to steal, if you go to commit murder, if you tell lies, if you betray another person, if you commit any form of vices, and then death comes to you, or any punishment come to you as a result of such commitment, your death has nothing to do with Christ. Your death has nothing to do with the doctrine of our Lord Jesus Christ, because it is your own sin that has faced you out, and everything belongs to you. That is just the situation. But if you allow yourself totally, if you surrender yourself to God to take dominion over your life, and you do not allow yourself to be disturbed over things of the world, over situations that happens to you, if anything happens to you on account of such surrendering yourself wholly and solely to God, you are dying to death of Christ. And that is when you stand to receive the reward. In heaven and on earth, you stand to be discharged and acquitted, because you were a man of God. But in the other round, you can see that whatever happens to men, whatever happens to you in life, it does not come from anywhere. It comes certainly from the person that you love most. Because it is something that you love dearly that death has to emerge from that very particular thing to you. It is not your enemy. It is not somebody outside. It is not the person that you think. Don't you remember that in the case of our Lord Jesus Christ, it wasn't the people that had plotted evil against him, or maybe during the days of his military assignment that actually committed the act, but it was somebody from his own very feet, between his own feet, that caused the action. In order for what was written in the scripture to be made manifest, that a man's enemy shall certainly become his best neighbor, so that if anything has to come to you, you discover that he must be somebody that you love dearly. He must be something that you rested your heart onto. But the situation is that you don't have to allow yourself to be disturbed in any way. You don't have to allow yourself to be bothered in any way. For the will of God has to be made manifest in order for the glory of God to be revealed.
And you need to go by the road. When was the marriage? So for you, I don't want to know you. It's a nearly gone for a long. Nearly no more, my name don't for you.
And this thing,
so whether and book room work and many
and this thing did not come from any man. It didn't, nobody was responsible for what happened to our Lord Jesus Christ. But it is exactly what was written after him that has to come to manifest. That he had already resolved to come and salvage humanity. Bring salvation to mankind. That is the reason. Whatever happens took place in order for it to be made manifest. In order for the will of God, for the glory of God to be made manifest to man. Don't you remember, once the whole world had perished, and sinfulness wrought all the human race, and it appears that the work of God will almost be exterminated from the surface of the earth. And so the question comes, who will go to the world to salvage mankind, to cause the sins of man to be forgiven? And nobody make any move to accept the responsibility. But when our Lord Jesus Christ remembered that, if this happens, if the world perish, then the work of his Father will be brought to naught. He rose up his hand and accepted before the Father to come and do the work. So, if that happens, if that is true, and if this is anything to go by, would you then say that it was Judas Iscariot who was responsible for his betrayal or was responsible for his crucifixion? It was not Judas Iscariot. It was not Pilate. It was not Herod. It was not Herod. It was not the Jews. It was not anybody at all. But it is exactly what was written after him that came to manifest in order for the entire human race to receive salvation. So that you will be able to know and take a good lesson from what has been given to you. That you do not have to bother yourself in any way. But you have to make a good choice from now henceforth. What is going to be your relative position before God and in the world that you are? What choice are you making? Because if you continue in sinfulness, if you commit any aspect of sin, certainly you shall stand to suffer the reward that is enumerated and given, set aside for anybody who commits sin. No matter what you do, no matter the least, no matter how small the sin that you commit, certainly you shall reap the reward of somebody who commits sin. And that will be certainly your position. But if you would surrender yourself totally to God, if you will not have anything to do with murder, if you will not have anything to do with maliciousness, if you will not have anything to do with fornication, if you will not have anything to do with telling lies, if you will not have anything to do with plotting evil against another person, if you will not have anything to do with any aspect of iniquity, you remember, you will discover that you stand to be sanctified by God Almighty, and you shall certainly be elevated on high. And then salvation and eternal life belongs to you. But if you allow yourself to be indulged in sinfulness, you shall certainly be condemned and doomed in the hellfire.
Then, you get it from Kaya. So you understand.
Without taking us further,
We call us here by God. One second. Yes, Lord.
Okoto ke mati ibere bitia o mai ko cheke yesu bitia ede kini ye sere de ko kuli ko ku ye mi obo bi e do ko je me ba na Jesus e ti wore nye den mo e baba nu bo e da nye da ke ya no paide ande kara e kem ke ni Judas e mi akara de nyono okote je je me yipe e ye to am kofio onyu ada mba sel ba de bi do do afi aso ipo ku ye mi obo e de mo mana mi yo mpo Gaming Kayadi, you may be very soon. It is my thing. It is answered. You go for the other. Then a YouTube back some bad road of a temple. Ada young, a take it up. Amen.
Our second Bible lesson was drawn from St. Matthew Gospel, chapter 27, reading from verses 1 through 5. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Jesus to put him to death. And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate the governor. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, I have seen in that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, What is that to us? See thou to that. And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple, and departed, and went and hung himself in the name of Lord Jesus Christ.
Give to Caesar what belongs to him. The wages of sin is
the first lesson that you have to draw from this is that whosoever loves carnal things, loves wealthy possessions of this world, look at the reward, the end of such a person from what has been read out to you. Whosoever inclines his or her heart to the things of this world, secondly, this has to be the position of such a person. And because Judas Iscariot is such a person who inclined his heart to the things of this world, that was the reason he was given that position that led him to that destiny. then the individual who found himself in such a position would become so happy and say, I thank God, I am so lucky, it is out of luck that I am given this position. But I want to tell you that there is nothing lucky from that. It is not luck in any way, but rather it is an unfortunate situation, and it is a bad luck, to put it in a nutshell, because that is certainly what will lead you to your weak point. That is certainly what will lead you to damnation. That is exactly what will lead you to the position that has been stated about Judas Iscariot. As a matter of fact, it is not Judas Iscariot alone that is talking about, but the scripture, God is using Judas Iscariot to point out to the entire human race, to all the world, whosoever in the world that incline his or her hearts to worldly positions, to acquisition of wealth, to material things of this world, certainly that will be the result of such a position. By the time people will begin to say that it is winch, it is ghost, it is apparition, somebody bewitched him, somebody planted for that is why that. No, it is not. Far from it. It is the reward of the positions, the accidental relation of that person towards the worldly position and carnal things of this world that has earned him that position.
And here you are coming up. Over any minute, I said, you go, and you know,
He was the treasurer. He was the treasurer, and all the money got to his custody. Upon all from left and right, you see that all the money that comes gets to him. And he gets custody of them. He has the freedom to dip his hands and use the money as he likes, present it in whatever, use it and lavish it in whatever way that he wants to use it. In whatever direction that the money comes, he receives and put them into his pocket. And that is exactly what happens. Left and right, he continued to get the money and put it into his pocket. And what was the position? At the end of it all, what happened to him? It is out of that everything that happened to him can. In order for you to understand, by the time you will be in a stay in a position, or you will go to a position that whatever comes, when money comes from right, left, comes from right, comes from front, comes from behind you, collect them, put it and swindle, and basically do whatsoever you want. You should not forget what the scripture has already nominated. That whosoever do not incline your hearts to the love of the things of this world, but whosoever allow the love of the things of this world to be in his heart, the love of God certainly is not has in him. That is exactly the situation that happens to everybody. If you see anybody who allows the things of this world to take occupation of his own heart, know that such a person has nothing to do with God. Such a person has nothing to do with the glory of God. And it is from what he raised his heart unto those things that he raised his heart unto that anything will happen to him. Because the Satan, the tempter, will never look for a child of God. He will certainly look for somebody who is a man of the world, a man of the earth, because he knew that you have your heart in money, you place your hand in material position, and that is where he will direct you to these things, and that is where you could be trapped. But whosoever is a child of God, whosoever has allowed his or her heart to be inclined unto the heavenly things, there is nothing anybody will be able to get you trapped onto, because you have already surrendered yourself unto God and the things of the heavenly. But it is only somebody who allows himself to be totally and fully filled with the things of this world that could be derailed out of the path of rectitude at any point in time, because he allowed himself to be carnally conscious.
But, and your body, take it pieces. Of one will against his position. That's also about the humans. See them in you. Alright. And you will call on the characters together. So get what you mean out of Gabiana on board. And Yaya. Mokwaken, or to what? Alright, over my seer. Alright, who told me to get you and I'm good. You see the one? I'm going to run up. No, again, no record. Again, every second of the and you will not give up. Whether you can come, no,
Can you not see the most disgraceful aspect of it and most pitiable? Judas Iscariot betrayed our Lord Jesus Christ for just 30 pieces of silver. But the amount of money in his possession before this episode of 30 pieces of silver were over 100 million. But look at just 30 pieces of silver stand out to be the culmination of the end of all that length of period that he says, everything that he did, the period that he spent with our Lord Jesus Christ, the name that he appeared to be among the disciples stand out to be totally erased from the surface of the earth and from the human history as a result of just 30 pieces of silver, whereas over hundreds of millions were lying at his own disposal. The same thing also happens. Somebody will say, let me just go and cheat him and collect a little money to go and buy cigarettes. What would I do me? What would happen to me? Nothing will happen to me. But what will be the relative position? Even when you have access to millions of money, but a very little thing, since your heart inclines onto the carnal thing, inclines onto money, inclines onto worldly position, it is a very little one that will be used to trap you onto death, onto condemnation. And that is just exactly what will happen. It is not only Judas Iscariot, but all over the world, everybody in the universe that you find out, whatever stands out to be their positions, whatever stands out to be the cause of their downfall, is not unconnected with this development. So that you will be able to recall yourself and stand out to see that whatever thing you do, if you give somebody, if you plan evil, if you plot against another person, what will be the position? I am just pointing this out to you, for you to know exactly that whatever you do, whether that of giving money to somebody to collect money, even here in Brotherhood of the Trust is that, it may be because you are a chairman, maybe because you happen to hold a position in any fellowship or in any organization here in Brotherhood, and you decide to eat the money, swindle the money, embezzle the money that comes into your disposal. Have you ever heard me saying anything? I am not disturbed. I don't even make as if I'm concerned in any way, and I'm not concerned at all, and I will never be concerned at all, because I've already made it abundantly clear to you what will be the end of somebody who commits what you are practicing, so that you'll be able to use that to know whether what you are doing, where you fulfill your destiny, and what it will earn you. That is exactly what is happening all over, so that there is nothing for you to go and exclaim about anybody who continues. Whatever that you stand to see, stand out to be the relative position and reward of what is related to what you committed.
Reason back out there, not the sticker that or Judah, the Jacob, the own and here you woman in a young man, and you then in Joseph. Ruben, if you would, men of Judas, Yaranyam. Judas, Judas, Yaranyam, and he walked. No good consequence. Don't know this here. Yes. Eka, Mago Kumaka. Again, you need to get back to what? And yet it's plural.
Can you see that? I am myself of this man, everybody is making you a kind of I got them. You know, putting your number and for a second, or what to order in here. Never to make you understand that blood is thicker than water, remember the 12 sons of Jacob. Judah comes out of the 12 sons of Jacob. And when one of the sons of Jacob, by name Joseph, was to be sold out to slavery, Reuben gave an opinion that he should be sold out and his garment that he should be killed and his garment torn and shown to the father. But it was Judah who gave the opinion that you should be sold out and get the money. Yes, because right from the beginning, he has that carnal consciousness of acquisition of wealth, of getting money, of possessing anything related to this carnal world. And you will discover also that Achan, what happened to Achan, all the events and what Achan did, it was not all connected with the fact that Achan came out from that side of Judah. So that all the people in this world that you see that acquire wealth, whether they be president like Ahmadu Ahijo, the Herods and all other people, because of their position. They acquire so that anybody from this tribe of Judah so that from the beginning you will see that anybody from that tribe has to be identified with such carnal thinking, with the consciousness of acquisition of wealth, and in the end it does not profit them anything. They don't even use it, and they don't gain salvation. They lost their life also. What you have to take from this is that you do not have to resist the evildoer at all. Allow the evildoer to continue in whatever he does, but incline your heart unto righteousness. Because if our Lord Jesus Christ were to resist, by the time Judas Iscariot started it, it means he would have not been the one. He saw what Judas did right from the onset. And if he were to hurt him, maybe dismiss him from among the fold, it means that he would not have been the one. But since he was the one written after, he did not allow himself to be disturbed in any way. He allowed him to continue to do whatsoever he did. But what was the end of Judas Iscariot? You have meant to know the end actually. And that's what stands out to represent anybody of this kind of relation. Anybody who comes from this tribe. That is the reason I have told you, and I've been giving out to you every day, that you should be able to define clearly your relative position. If you stand for righteousness, stand firm unto righteousness. Even as our Lord Jesus Christ has said to the mouth of John the Divine in Revelation, said, if you want to be filthy, continue to be filthy. If you want to be unjust, continue to be unjust. If you want to be holy, be holy. If you want to be righteous, continue to be righteous still. That is clearly what you should be able to define your own position. What type of choice you ought to make. If you want to indulge yourself in sinfulness, go ahead. But if you know that it pays to be righteous, Allow yourself totally, surrender yourself totally to God, and allow God to reign in your life. Do not resist the evil one at all at any point in time, because you will certainly emerge unto salvation. You should certainly emerge unto glory. That is the reason you find here what is given us as the nomenclature of Brotherhood of the Cross Society. It is said it is called Brotherhood of the Cross and Star, because whatsoever a man does, that certainly he shall reap. Whatever type of reward that you gain here, if you emerge unto star, it is because of your own righteousness. It is because of your own deeds. If you suffer from any situation here, do not say that you are bearing the cross. It comes out of whatever is your relative position. And that is what stands out to be clear here. So that you don't have to bother yourself in any way. If you like, go and steal money. If you like, go and commit fornication. If you like, go and extort, give somebody and get money. Whatever money you get, take it to whatever you want to do. Take it to wherever you want to go. I don't have anything to do with this. Don't bring it here because I don't have anything to do with this. I'm not even interested. I don't want to see it. Because if you want to remember and call yourself into action, you will know that your forefathers, your fathers, your mothers, your brethren, your relations, your kinsmen who killed people to get money, they did not benefit from anything. Who do people to get money? Who do people to become rich? Who commit fornication in order for them to get on a better position? Who do all sorts of woeful acts in order for them to get themselves better off? We're not better off and in any way, and in the end, their relative position has been stated out to you in the scripture. So that you have to know exactly which position, which is your choice, and what stands out to be your relative position here. So, let us go to test the rest.
Eri yaro pan pan na ba to me ga God kun te jona wet. Ibara ke do me ta ba me pa sie e fe ta si me fe na. Ndan dan ba mu fo ko ko. Ma fyong ma me kan da. Ali en pa ke ente mano sun te ke we de te. Adi au ja mi osu ko ra tra ni. Uta wa da na mi ni tan na mo. Kini pa mi wa ki su ka man tin eri wa ri su. Ko pe nam ka pa ni ko ate. I'm Indian yet, and then Amen.
Our golden text was taken from John chapter 13, verse 18 and 19. I speak not of you all, I know whom I have chosen, but that the scripture may be fulfilled. He that eateth bread with me hath lifted up his head and left me. Now I tell you before it comes, that when it is come to pass, you may believe that I am He. In the name of God Jesus. Amen.
Now, you need an
Can you see what I've been read out to you? For you to know the position of the foolish. Now I want to use an earthly thing to illustrate the heavenly one. Anything that you anything that you see is to reveal the glory of God. And nothing happens that is outside what was nominated to manifest in order for the will of God to be revealed. Even if you see a hell of people descending down from the sky and fell on the ground and all of them died, nothing spoiled. It were meant to reveal the glory of God. Another way, if you see people maybe raising up from the ground and in the mid-air they became hanged, while some of them on the ground they were died, all of them happened in order to bring manifest the glory of God. Or if people get up and they come down and nothing happened to them, all of them stand out to be alive. It meant also to reveal the glory of God. It does not happen outside what was written that it should happen in order for the glory of God to be made manifest. So,
Saya kira antara orang pun mulai kali ya. Nên chém mấy cái đi ra cả cũng nhé, mới chỉ đến lấy gì, còn cái này chỉ có cái gì trên nó cứ ra càng cái nào nó cũng vậy nè, nên là cháu cũng vậy, cảm giác Jangan kenyang. Banyak ada dan orang ini bisa kait kerja asal itu mau nak tahu yang apa nak tahu ini macam ni tahu jadi pun tidak ada Aja apa? Kai mang cho đấy, yên này, mà cái nhà đi, cái cú sôi rồi chứ đâu, cú sôi gì? Adik banyak, mam, orang gay tu. Ni nak kau buat je, makan aja makan. Boleh mak. Aja aku ni, itu ni. Iwa yang ni kampung. Jadi kina berkuda di mana itu bukan rumah. Soal di mana tu nama. Jadi agak ni tu pemut tu bukan rumah ni. Ya, rumah kisah. Bum. Ya kasuan. Cara anda pun cukup. Matanya mata juga wangi. Now, ada apa saya menyebut di sini? Abang Tim, mana? Mana ni? Semua nasi ada jam. Ayam bisa kau ada. Nol. Saya menyebut sini. Then, oh.
There's a city that certain young men were in the city and they set out on fetching firewood. As they went, upon approaching a place, one of them not fell into water, a stream, and he decided to go into it in order to find it out. As he went inside, he passed onto, and until he passed to reach a place that he finds a very old woman. And as he approached that point, here over here, people thought that he is dead, because others had gone and nobody understood what was his will about. But behold, at this point in time, he was already being struck by various forms of sickness like leprosy and many other things that happened to his skin all over. And so by the time he get to the city of this old woman, and he was being held hostage by this woman, on the day he was instructed. The woman suffered from leprosy, and when the young man was instructed to go to the stream, and it happened, after going to the stream and following the instruction that was given, the second instruction get to him from the woman that he should get to a farm, and when he gets to the farm, he will find garden egg. He should pluck the garden egg, but he should not eat any of them. It is still the same woman also that manifested into a very beautiful girl before this young man, and demanded that the young man should give him the garden egg, should give her the garden egg to eat. But the young man said, no, I was instructed not to give any, not to release one. And in spite of the way that the manifested old woman into the beautiful girl tried to call the young man into action in order to give the garden egg, he did not allow himself to be lured into that demand. And so he took the garden egg completely as he had it to the house. When the old woman got him in the house, asked him, have you eaten of the garden egg? He said no. Tell me, have you not eaten about any of them? He said no. He said, okay, use water and then rinse your mouth and pour it and let me find out. By the time he did it, the woman confirmed after that he ate not of the garden egg. He said, okay. Now, I'm about to go on a journey. When you see rats running on the roof, many know that it is about time that I am to come back. And you should take precaution. Whatever you see, don't touch. Whatever comes out of that rat breast, don't touch anything. And so the woman left. It was, when it was time, he had a head of rat running all over the roof. And as a result of that rest, a very big fish fell on the ground and scattered. Since he had the instruction, he followed the instructions completely and gathered all the fish together and put it at one place. When the woman came back and saw him, asked him, have you eaten the fish? He said no. Tell me, have you eaten the fish? He said no, that he has not touched the fish to eat any of them. So the woman said, okay, use water and rinse your mouth and let me see whether you have actually eaten the fish. And he did so, and the woman confirmed that he has not eaten the fish at all. So when it was the day that he was to be sent out to go, he was to be released to go. So that day, he was given a very good instruction that he should abide by. That there's going to be 8 pots. And from these 8 pots, the first one that he will knock, he will hear a very good sound, and he should not be bothered. And until when he gets to the one, maybe the fourth one, when he gets to the one, that he will see water. And that water will be so pure, will be so clean, he should have nothing to do with water, should not bother himself about the water. But until when he gets to the one that he will see the water that will be so purity and filled with so many things, that is the one that he should have concern over.
So, good, muito, e zomba, ada bah, jangan, zomba, hey, good everything. Mereka nak kau ni kan, kau tu mana ke sama mereka? Dan kau macam tu, orang kau aja, ikat jauh, ikat jauh. Esem kasih kau kau tu kau biasa esem kasih kau macam.
And so, the young man followed the instruction that was given to him. The persons from the church that had the sound until he gets to the pot where there was the filthy water, and he did exactly as he was instructed. And after doing exactly as he was instructed, he found himself arriving at his home. And by the time he arrived at his home, there were a lot of joy. People were so happy having seen him because of the forgotten memory and the loss of hope he has told his story about. So there were a lot of joy. People became so happy. And so when, amidst this happiness, as he arrived, the other people said, open door, open door, open door. By the time they opened the door, he called. When he called out wealth. He comes out again money. He comes out again gold. He comes out again so many good things. So gold, money, riches, all amount of wealth.
I think we want what? Mong mẹ nặng